Samuel Lucas, United correspondent for the Manchester United Evening News, has come out and told us that INEOS and the Glazers are considering to really keep Erik ten Hag at the job of Manchester United. Is it as a result of we, the fans of Manchester United, coming out and obviously piling pressure onto them? That's what we're going to be discussing in here onto the United Matters channel. Smash the like button, comment and share. If at all you're watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on the stories that we do upload in here on a daily. Rock and David is my name, and hope you guys are really having fun. Wherever you are, continue to subscribe so as not to miss out on the stories that we upload by hitting the notification bell after subscribing. How many likes am I calling upon onto this video? I'm calling upon for 300 likes onto this video, because I know how exciting it's really gonna be and really get you. Then we are having a story coming in through from Anil Kandola, another pundit working on TalkSport, giving us a hint on how United cannot obviously sack Erik ten Hag because of a certain factor that is really huge that he has gonna hit obviously come out and really hint on. Then Marcus Rashford quits all of social media. Do you know what that means? He's off social media because he feels like it's not the right thing to do right about now. Allah, thank you for the gift of life. The Lord God, thank you for the gift of life, and let's obviously kickstart it off as it is required in here for you now. Samuel Lucas, some hours back, said Manchester United are considering retaining Erik ten Hag as their manager for next season. To show you that this was part of the plan, even when they're making negotiations with the possible replacements, if at all ten Hag was sacked, Samuel Lucas told us that during discussions with the representatives of potential replacements, United officials indicated that they had not ruled out the possibility of keeping Erik ten Hag. Now, what was the motive for Manchester United to go in and really do these discussions with these managers? Because if they really had it at the back of their mind that Erik ten Hag is one of those they're supposed to keep here at the club of Manchester United, then why did they do it towards the FA Cup final? You know, did they obviously want him to lose such that they sack him? Because by doing so, news all over social media, serious media outlets like The Guardian came out and put out a story that he's already sacked. Even if he wins the FA Cup, he's gonna be leaving the club of Manchester United. That was like a red flag to Manchester United is lifting the trophy. But Erik ten Hag stood tall with his players, and guess what the results are? Erik ten Hag has finally found himself in a proper position to come out and really lift something at the end of the season. That is the FA Cup, and it looks like the mission for INEOS went wrong. You know, they were like, if we put out some tensive news to Erik ten Hag, he might lose it all and not concentrate for the game onto the game. But it was vice versa, and it really went ahead to do the needful. And it showed you that they are telling the other managers that we are talking to you, but a decision to sack Erik ten Hag hasn't gone ahead to be made. What does that mean? So I'm just getting excited that now we are having a division towards the FA Cup final last week. You saw to it that all the possible pundits, 100% of the pundits, were like, Erik ten Hag is going to be sacked. And the likes of David Austin and Fabrizio Romano, the tier 1 journalists that are really hold in high esteem, came out and said Manchester United have commenced a movement to speak to other managers. And I was like, Erik ten Hag is gone, because the moment they do that, that means they are done with you and they feel like everything is done and dusted. But if now we're having people or correspondents of Manchester United having what we call a split decision or a split opinion on what is happening at Manchester United, that shows you that there is a side at Manchester United that wants to keep Erik ten Hag, and there is a side that wants to obviously sack Erik ten Hag. And that's why I told you in the morning when I told you a story about, or brought you a story about Glazers getting into the mix to negotiate, or to really discuss or to do the review for Erik ten Hag's season. I told you, I'm smelling something positive for Erik ten Hag. The majority shareholders for the club of Manchester United, they don't want Erik ten Hag to leave because they are seeing something that is really very positive. And for the Glazers, they not eat that. Every time they have a manager who can obviously bring them a trophy, then the rest will go on and really get them maybe a Premier League or a Champions League, because after winning the Carabao Cup, one of the least rated trophies in the hierarchy of the leagues in the world, he went ahead to win the most important trophy, and it's like going into what we call the ascendancy order, because their order is first at top is the Champions League, Premier League, FA Cup, Carabao Cup. Now, he first won the Carabao Cup last season. This recently concluded season, he has gone ahead to win an FA Cup. Who knows? Next season, he might win a Premier League or a UEFA Europa League, and then the other season wins the Champions League. Who knows? Who knows? So I think they are now trying to obviously look through what Ten Hag was telling them, that when I'm having my best players, I can play the best football. And we saw it against Arsenal. We saw it against Newcastle. We saw it against Brighton. And when he almost had his team on the field of play, I think the only player that was missing in the team was Luke Shaw, to be played onto the left back position, to obviously have his team. And the team went ahead to obviously beat Man City by 2-1. So I'm just excited that everyone who was thinking of sacking Erik ten Hag is turning heel. And if at all is turning heel, I'm just getting excited about it. And I tell you what, we might be headed to one of the most interesting beats of life this season. So that is Samuel Lucas for you. And remember, he was one of those that put out stories that Erik ten Hag is going to be sacked. Now, the other story that will show you a lot of positivity into Erik ten Hag staying at the club of Manchester United has come in through from a TalkSport host, a TalkSport journalist known as Anil Kandola. He has told us that, I'm told INEOS are listening to Erik ten Hag's recommendations when it comes to incomings, Olise, Frimpong, plus outgoings. It would be an utter joke if they decide to sack him but still listen to his plans. If INEOS get this wrong, it could lead to another decade of difficulty. Obviously, if there is a manager that the world is looking at, or the people are really looking at, obviously give him what he deserves in as far as taking United where it deserves to be, it's none other than Erik ten Hag. Erik ten Hag is the man to obviously stop this. Ever since he came into the club of Manchester United, he has gone ahead to win 2 trophies. And remember, after Sir Alex Ferguson, we've gone ahead to win 5 trophies. Mourinho won 2, Louis van Gaal won 1. That was the FA Cup. And now, this man has gone ahead to win 2, 1 per season. And if I told you that person who has obviously gone ahead to come in through and feel like he's not the right man for the job, then I feel like football is not meant for you, and you should obviously find yourself elsewhere to operate, because we are really having a manager that is really good. Now, he's talking about United still going in for signings or recommendations or signings that were really recommended by Erik ten Hag. That is really a big one. It's really a big one to obviously underlook. You have to obviously come in through and really understand that only underlooking that just puts you into a situation of please don't go any further, right? And I tell you that Erik ten Hag is the main man, right? Erik ten Hag is the main man, and he's gonna be giving us the best that we deserve as a club of Manchester United. And if they're still looking at signings like Olise, Todibo, Frimpong, Braithwaite, that Erik ten Hag is also looking at, then that shows you that they are still at the same page. And I think what has gone ahead to cause Manchester United to really feel like they should sack Erik ten Hag, it's because there is some bit of veto power that they want to get off Erik ten Hag, and yet Erik ten Hag has it in his contract. And this is where the Glazers came in. When the Glazers were giving him a contract, they were like, you're having veto power, you have to sit down with the people at the club and decide who is going to come in through, and you have to convince the board on who is going to come in through. Now, if INEOS are really competent and they think they're competent, that shouldn't be the reason as to why they should be really sacking Erik ten Hag, because if they can offer him better players, I don't think that Erik ten Hag will say no. But because they want to come here and bring their ego, that's why two egoistic people cannot be in the same house. And this is where INEOS comes in through. And I know the agency of Erik ten Hag might have intervened and told the Glazers that, please, we signed a contract with you, you get, and you people told us that we're going to be having veto power. The reason as to why INEOS wants to get rid of Erik ten Hag, it's because of the veto power. Can you please intervene and tell them that this is what we signed and we are not here by mistake? I think that is the scenario that is being looked at by INEOS. That's why I tell you there's a powerful hand that is keeping Erik ten Hag at Manchester United, and that's supposed to be the Glazers, because they are fed up of obviously going in through to start afresh. They are fed up. The other factor as to why I think the Glazers are into this to see it that they want to keep Erik ten Hag here, it's because of him getting in youngsters into the team of Manchester United. Ever since Alex Ferguson left, there is no manager that has gone ahead to usher into the first team many players like Erik ten Hag has gone ahead to do. Kambwala, Kobe Mainoo, Dango, Garnacho, you get Whitley, Ethan, Foson Omari. Those are 6. You understand? And next season, he might have others. You know, there is Amaz is being looked at as one of those players to obviously coming through. There is McAllister. There is Shialisi. There are like 4 or 5 other players that have gone ahead to prove to Erik ten Hag that they are good to get to this team. Hannibal might be one of those that comes in through and obviously have a very good preseason, and Manchester United will be like, all right, we are going to really take in Ten Hag will be like, I'm going to be taking in you. So INEOS looks at Erik ten Hag as a cost-cutting manager. You get? He's a manager who is not going to rely on to getting you finished articles. Yet nowadays, finished articles are really very expensive. He's a manager who can really work on with the players that are already available from the academy and mix in a little bit and then build you a very huge squad. You understand? And I think that will act well in the financial fair play for the club of Manchester United. So I think there is now a clash of decision on whether Erik ten Hag should be sacked or not. That's what I'm really thinking is happening at the club of Manchester United. So thank you very much for watching through, and let's obviously get to Marcus Rashford. Yesterday went ahead and obviously put out a post on his Instagram and X, and this post read as follows: that it's time to come off socials for a few weeks. I plan to rest and reset mentally after a challenging season individually and collectively. Thanks to the fans that stood by me through a difficult period, to the ones that need just remember at Man United. Don't just remember at Manchester United, we always stick together. Now, I now want to acknowledge Marcus Rashford that he has finally come out and acknowledged that he had a challenging season. That is it. He had a challenging season, and he was the white sheep into all those people around, because only white dog amongst all the players at the club of Manchester. Do you know why? He was the player that scored 30 goals in the season of 2022-2023, and everyone was like, if he continues with that form, United will obviously go in and obviously do the needful. I tell you, if Rashford just got us 20 of the goals he scored last season, Manchester United would have gone ahead to go far into the Champions League and obviously do the needful to see to it that all goes well in the Premier League to qualify for the Champions League and even compete for the trophy, because those 20 goals would have gone ahead to do a lot. You get? The -1, I think that we ended up with the season, would have gone ahead to be a positive 19. You understand? And positive 19 goals, that means these are the following games you win. You win against Burnley, you get? You win against Brentford, you know, you win against Chelsea, you win against Liverpool, you win against, those 19 goals are going to collect in United for like 20 points. You get? and those 20 points take Manchester United to 80 points, you know, all even into the title contending bracket. You understand? So I liked that about him, that he has really acknowledged that he had a very struggling season, you know, and let him rest, go recharge. You are not in the Euros, rest enough, get ready for next season. I tell you, next season is going to come back firing. Whatever's been disturbing him, God knows, but I think he deserves to be given his flowers for what he is going to be doing in there for you. So guys, thank you very much for watching through. Rokan David is my name. I call upon for reactions onto INEOS turning heel on Erik Ten Hag sacking. What do you make about it? And Marcus Rashford, social media break. What do you make about it? May the living to God bless you abundantly. Rokan David remains my name. I sign out for now. See you later, and I cover you all in the precious blood of Jesus Christ. Bye-bye.